Welcome Rabbi Mizrachi in our community. Baruch Hashem, our community are trying to bring out Torah, teach people value, and obviously we would like Talmidei Chachamim to come and give us a word of chizuk. We are not affiliated to United Synagogue, although we're using the premises of United Synagogue. And we have a great Hakarat Tov for them. We are not Chabad, and we have plenty of Rabbi of Chabad who comes and teach Torah. Chaver ani lechol asher yererucha. The pasuk in Tehillim said, I'm partner with everybody who can bring a Jew close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, we decided to have Rabbi Mizrachi among us to give us divrei chizuk, to speak the word of the Torah. And if a person out of this audience will come and will become better, and will do a mitzvah better, will come to Shachrit, will do the Fayomi, will read the Halacha, will speak less Lashon Hara, it will be better between Ben Adam Lachaver, Ben Adam Lamakom, we have win our goal. Our goal is to be better in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, better in front of Ben Adam Lachaver, and this is what we aim for. So we hope that Bezrat Hashem, the Rabbi will give us the chizuk. The Rabbi told me that Baruch Hashem, so far in London, he had already given 9 lectures. But today he's going to make the Asiri Kodesh. 9 is great, but 10 is much greater. So Bezrat Hashem, we hope that the Rabbi will give us chizuk. And Bezrat Hashem, all those people who are here, you have to know that Baruch Hashem here, we have a minyan 3 times a day. We have shiurim, and we want to have more and more and more shiurim. We want to have a light, the light of Torah heard in this Bet HaMidrash, in other places as well. And this is our only hope, to be able to bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu into our home. ועשו לי מקדש ושכנתי בתוכם. We have to make HaKadosh Baruch Hu live in our place, in our houses, in our Bate Midrashot. In every place where we go, we have to have HaKadosh Baruch Hu with us. So we are very happy to have Rabbi Mizrachi here, and we hope that Bezrat Hashem will come again and give us more Torah, and more people will come to hear the word Torah.
Thank you very much. ברוכים הנמצאים. Thank you, Rabbi. Before I start the lecture, I'll tell you a little story. I arrived here on Friday early morning, and like the Rav just said, I'm here about 72 hours, because I actually more. I started the lecture on Friday night. That was the first one. So within 72 hours, I was very busy here. I gave 9 lectures, and this is the 10th. So in 72 hours, Baruch Hashem, we're doing maybe a world record. And some of the lectures were very long, you know, some less, some longer. But the interesting part of this trip is the way I got here. How I got here. I was on my way to the airport, from Monsey to the airport on Thursday, late afternoon, rush hour, talking at least 2 hours ride. So as I'm, as usual, late, always under pressure, by the time I leave, by the time I get, I asked Ofer a few hours before I left the house if he have time to check if my flight didn't get delayed or anything like that. Out of nowhere, I sent him a text. So in the last minute, while I'm already on the way to the airport, and I'm very nervous because I'm afraid that I'm not going to make the flight. My flight is 7:20 p.m. Thursday night. Ofer sent me a message. What's the message? Your flight got cancelled, and they move you to an earlier flight. And of course, they didn't let me know. They didn't even send an email, nothing. And I have a boarding pass with confirmation. The flight is on time from the night before. I checked in. They didn't bother to tell me the flight got cancelled. They moved me to an earlier flight. So I park the car out of the airport. I take the shuttle. They have a shuttle. I go, because I go on the long trips. Instead of leaving the car in the parking, I leave it for free, and I come with the shuttle. So now I say to myself, there's no time to leave the car there and take about 6, 7 stops with the train until the train comes, and then from the train you have to run to the terminal. It's at least half an hour extra. I have to put the car in the expensive parking lot right by the terminal. They kill you, but that's it. There's no other way. If not, I miss the flight. So I park the car and I run, and I have 2 big suitcases full of CDs and my personal stuff. And I run. I say, wow, after all this headache, until I finally got here, imagine I missed the flight. So I get into the terminal. How do they say in Hebrew? Chashchu enai. Since they canceled my flight, they moved all my people to the earlier flight. So now there's a huge line of people waiting to check in. And they have a rule. If you do not check the suitcase, if you don't check the suitcase 1 hour before the flight, they close the flight. They close it. That's it. It doesn't matter, even if you made it. Baruch Hashem. Background music, it's good for the video. Again, so I'm thinking to myself, wow, by the time I wait this line, that's it, I'm done. So when I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do? I leave a suitcase full of thousands of CDs here in the airport. I let the suitcase go. What am I going to do? Thinking to myself, and still I'm not sure I'll make it. As I look at the line, the press, someone tap on my shoulder. I turn around, I see a non-Jewish policeman with the blue uniform, the light blue. You know, like the police in JFK, the airport, light blue, mustache, earring. I say, Rabbi, Rabbi, where are you going? I looked at him. It's unbelievable. I said, I'm on my way to London, but look what's going on here. I don't have a chance to make it. Not like this. Relax. Follow me. I wrote his name. Petignano. Officer Petignano. In JFK. Petignano. I guess he's Italian. He takes me in right away. No line, no nothing. Take me right away to the desk. He took me right away to the desk. 2-3 minutes, I had a boarding pass. He said, I'll wait for you by the security. A huge line for the security. I get to the security. He takes me from the side like the Prime Minister goes, you know. Took rather 10 minutes, I was by the terminal. By the flight already. Instead of an hour and a half. A guy watched my lectures online. He's working in JFK. In the right minute, he came out of the elevator. That's the whole point. It's a huge airport. Mamash perfect timing. I stand by the elevator and he came out. And he tapped on my shoulder. And the best news is, he told me, you're very lucky. In 2 days, they're moving me to Georgia. So I'm still here for you. I told him, write your name. I'm going to start my lecture as a courtesy. For the zchut that you had, you got me on a plane. Who knows? I would not make it. Who knows? You don't make it, it's Shabbat, you miss the flight, everything get canceled. Just thinking about Ofer after I worked so hard. Imagine I tell you I missed the flight, but that's it. So let's start. We decided to talk a little bit today about simcha, happiness. Happiness. It's now a perfect time to talk about it because Chazal say, "Mishenichnas Adar marbim besimcha." Adar arrived, even though it's Adar Aleph and we have another Adar, and Purim it's more than a month from now, but it doesn't matter. Adar, it's a time of simcha. Mishenichnas Adar marbim besimcha. When you ask today people, what does it mean simcha? What does it mean simcha? In English, you can call it happiness. Happiness really, it's osher in English. How do you say simcha in English? What's the difference between osher and simcha in English? There's really no, that's the same thing by them. Simcha and osher, one word, happiness. Or there is another word that I'm not aware of.
Joy.
Joy? Joy is simcha? Very good, okay. So, what does it mean to be sameach, simcha? Today many people mix between simcha and olelut. A person that mitholel. What does it mean olelut? He drinks few shots of whiskey, is very in a good mood, and he begins to tell jokes and to laugh, and he falls on the floor, and he gets up and dances on the table, and everyone say, wow, what a happy person this guy is. In reality, everybody understands, if you really check him, check the root of him, is very, very far away from being happy. Very far. One time I went to a Shabbaton somewhere, and you know, I've been traveling for 19 years already. Who knows how many hundreds of times I already went to seminars and Shabbatonim over the years. And while I'm meeting so many people, I happen to meet lots of wealthy Jews. But not just wealthy, extremely wealthy. We're talking 1 billion and up. This kind of people. And I even spoke sometimes in their homes or in their shuls or places like this. And usually, believe it or not, the people that has a lot of money not always necessarily are very happy from their life. Sometimes they're far away from being happy. And they're very sad and stressed and depressed. One time I came to a place and my host was a real estate tycoon who built roads and bridges and has 6 construction company, but massive. He works with the government. And I saw that this person does not stop smiling for a second. But what a smile, like he has the Shekhinah on his face, smiling like this. An American Baal Tshuva. Smiling, smiling. So I say to myself, oh, I finally found a billionaire that is really happy. By the end of the weekend, the Shabbat, there was one rabbi over there. I say, you know, finally I met a billionaire that is really happy. Usually the stress killed them. He told me, no, it's the medicine. Take medicine. That's why he smiled. Then I remember that one time I had someone in my school that lo alenu, their father died in a horrible boat accident. And we had to go from the school to be Menachem in Shiva. It was the day after the funeral. And we went to their nice house, and all of us came, the student. And I see the brother and the sister sitting on the bed there and laughing. Their father just died yesterday, laughing. So the maid say, don't pay attention. They took medication. The power of this medication, the person that lost Chas v'Shalom his father, he takes this medication, not only he doesn't cry, he laughs, and he's very happy from the situation. It does something to the brain. That's with the chemical. We're not talking this kind of happiness, of this kind of sadness. That's not what we're talking about. According to the Torah, what does it mean to be happy? Before we explain that, let's try to understand one by one what are the things that make a person unhappy. Then based on that we will know what happiness really means. What are the things that makes a person not able to be happy? He wants, but he can't. Like something is stuck in his throat. What is it? Who knows?
Stress.
What's caused stress? What causes a person stress?
Outside pressure.
Where the pressure comes from. If a person has $200 million in his bank account, basically have enough to live for the rest of his life, no? He shouldn't be worried on being on the street or not paying tuition or not having enough food. What reason he has to be stressed? Oh, step number 1, problems with the emunah. Lack of emunah, not enough emunah in Hashem, makes a person always worry. According to the Torah, it's illegal to be worried, and it's illegal to scared from the future. Illegal. Which means, if a person fear, what am I going to eat tomorrow? Chazal say, הרי זה מקטני אמונה. Someone who has what to eat today, and is worried, what am I going to eat tomorrow? For today I have, but I don't have anything for tomorrow. Not for next year. For tomorrow. הרי זה מקטני אמונה. This person is in the lowest level of אמונה. And we have a proof in the Torah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu say it's not allowed to say for tomorrow. Hashem told them, I'm giving you man today. Make sure you do not leave anything for tomorrow. Tomorrow, count on me to give you also. But right now, whatever I give you, enjoy the moment. Some wants to say, that according to the Torah, you're not allowed to save money for a time of problems in the future. But that's not exactly correct. We're going to explain it soon. Also, there's one more thing. There's a famous question that today many people ask, are you allowed to do life insurance or not? Who can tell me what's the reason to do, what's the reason not to do? Obviously, if somebody asks this question, that means there's two sides to the story. What reason a person have to do life insurance?
To look after his family after he's gone.
If God forbid an accident happened to him one day and he died young, at least the widow with the children do not have to fall on a rabbi and on a community to feed them for the next 20 years. So at least they have what to eat. What reason a person has not to make life insurance? Huh?
Yes, 200 million in the bank.
Well, we're not talking someone who already have enough money for them to live. That's obviously doesn't need insurance according to all opinions. If you have a few $1 million saving, what's the point? It's set. They set. We're talking someone who doesn't have enough maybe for a month or two. That's it. After that, the widow is stuck.
If his purpose is to feed his family, then there's no purpose to his existence.
If his purpose to feed his family,
Then if he's got life insurance to protect them after, then there's no purpose. Meaning there's not, if God really wants him to disappear, then there's no reason to keep him there beyond the distance or the other.
very good. You say that almost exactly like I wanted to say it. Let me just modify a little bit your words. Reason to make life insurance is, as I just mentioned, something happened, don't put more on the shoulders of the community. Life is hard as it is, and there's lots of expenses, and they cannot take care of every widow. Okay. However, there's something that sometimes HaKadosh Baruch Hu leave a person alive not for him, for the people around him. Which means, right now, based on nature, Hashem can always do miracle and a hand come from heaven and put $1 million on the table. Yes, whatever he does, whatever he wants, he can do. But Hashem doesn't like to do miracles. He likes to hide everything in a natural way. And right now, in a natural way, the only way to support the family is through this guy. And now, if he made life insurance, I don't need you anymore here. We can take you away from here, and the insurance will pay for them. While you're still here and you give money and you supply, I am forced to keep you here another 3, 4, 5 years until we see how the situation will change. It's also true to someone who supports yeshiva, someone who supports Talmidei Chachamim that sits and learns Torah, Avrechim, in Kollel. In a case like this, if, God forbid, something's supposed to happen to him, his insurance is the children of these Avrechim who eat and go to Talmudei Torah. That's his insurance right now that is busy in the middle of a mitzvah. So Hashem keeps him here. I'll tell you a story that happened with Rav Steinman. There was one rabbi who made a shidduch between two Jews. Let's say Reuven and Shimon. Reuven wanted to invest money and he asked the rabbi if Shimon is good for the money. And the rabbi that knew Shimon as a reliable person, he told him, yes, he's an honest person, he shouldn't have a problem. And Reuven invested money by Shimon, and something went wrong, and he could not pay back the loan. Just couldn't pay it back. So the person came to that rabbi, and he made sure that he will feel very guilty. He told him, you know, based on your recommendation, I gave him my money, and now I'm stuck. He's not paying me back, and it's a disaster in my life. So the rabbi said, you know, I never asked commission. I have no part in a deal. What did I benefit from this deal? I wanted to help two Jews. But since Michshol came by me, after all, I was a broker for something bad that happened. Let me go to Rav Steinman and ask him what I should do. I want to be clean. I don't want problems in Shamayim. He came to Rav Steinman. Rav Steinman told him it's obvious that minadin, according to halacha, you don't have to pay anything. You were not a part of the deal. You didn't guarantee anything. You didn't sign. You just recommended to the best of your knowledge. You're not an angel. And it didn't work out. And it still doesn't mean this person is not honest. Sometimes he's honest. He wanted to pay and he couldn't pay. So, but it's not good that this person hold it in his heart against you. So take the amount of the investment and give him checks for 5 years, 5 or 7 years. I don't remember exactly how many years, but that's just to understand the concept. Give him checks in advance for the next few years. Little by little, you won't feel it so much. Thank you, Rabbi. Whatever you say, Kadosh. You went to that person, you said, listen, you know, I feel bad. I don't want you to be upset. Here is the checks. Every month, put a check. So, Rav Steinman, when he told him to do it, he was a very old rabbi, this rabbi. He was already old. Every day he lives is already a miracle. So he told him, that's going to be your life insurance. Rav Steinman told him. Until you finish to pay. And he started to pay, and he paid, and he paid. And the day that the last check was cashed, he passed away. It's a true story. And the day that the last check was cashed, he passed away. What does it mean from our understanding? Maybe he was supposed to die 2-3 years earlier. But Hashem saw that he's in the middle of the mitzvah, he kept him around to make him complete a mitzvah that he wasn't even obligated to keep. Hashem saw he did something really lifni mishurat adin, and he kept him around. Of course, we don't know. Cheshbonot Shamayim, we don't know. Maybe there's other reason why he stay alive. We assume. But this is just to give us an example that sometimes people are depending on you. That's your life insurance. So let's go back. The Torah says, Pikudei Hashem yesharim mesamchei lev. What does it mean, Pikudei Hashem? What does it mean, Pkuda? What Pkuda means? That you command someone to do something. Pikudei Hashem, Torat Hashem, we know there's many psukim that Torat Hashem mesamachat et halev, that makes the heart very happy. But what does it mean, Pikudei Hashem? Pikudei Hashem, what does it mean? Is the commands of Hashem to do A, B, C makes me a happier person? If Hashem tells me to put tefillin every day, how exactly it makes me happy? Take a black box, put it on me. Fine, I make a prayer. Fine. I appreciate the opportunity, but how exactly it makes me happy? If I was depressed, if I was very sad, the fact that I put tefillin on my heart and on my head, that makes me a happier person? Did you ever see a person that put tefillin and he changed his mood? Not that he's forcing himself to change his mood, which with or without the tefillin he can do. Talking the actual tefillin. If a person take lulav and go like this, it makes him happy? If a person sit in a sukkah and say lishev b'sukkah, it makes him happy? There are certain things that makes a person happy. A good meal on Yom Tov with basar ve'yain make him happy. En simcha ela basar ve'yain, samachta b'chagecha. Okay, that part we know. Because it's simcha, it's a person has ta'ava la'ochel, he enjoy the food. But with or without the mitzvah, if you eat basar ve'yain, it would make him happy. It's not necessarily the mitzvah, it's the food makes him happy. It's not that you say, you know why I'm happy? Not because I love the steak and the good red wine. No. I'm happy because I have the zchut to keep the mitzvah. Do me a favor. Relax. We know exactly why you're happy. So the question is, from all the mitzvot, which mitzvah makes a person happy? Only one. Limud Torah keneged kulam. When a person is learning Torah, he's in ekstaza. You know what ekstaza means? Did you hear about Rav Yaakov Kanievsky, the stipler? The stipler used to finish for a few hours that he was learning, and he was alone in his room. At least he thought he's alone. He used to take the Gemara and go around the table and dancing and singing like this with the Gemara. And people were hiding. They wanted to see what the rabbi does. And he's like, lehavdil, if one of us just won the big prize in the lottery, maybe that's how we would dance. With the lottery card, not with the Gemara. Same kind of happiness, even though his happiness has come from a pure place. It's something very interesting. We have Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara, it's infection. Infection. Spiritual infection, not physical. It always goes inside the body of a person, and it eats him spiritually. It makes him weak. It makes him unable to keep the mitzvot. It makes him make the mitzvot in a lower level. Comes the Torah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, Barati Yetzer Hara I created. Barati Torah Tavlin. The Torah, it's the antibiotic against this Yetzer Hara. It kills the desires, it kills the sadness, it kills the laziness, it opens up the heart. I'll give you an example. One time, I used to speak in a place about maybe 8-9 years ago. The place, there's an organization in Queens, and the person that is in charge of this organization had a rule. The rule is collectors of tzedakah cannot come in the middle of the lectures and attack the audience for tzedakah. You want tzedakah, stand outside, collect tzedakah. Don't come in the middle of the lecture and start work when the speaker speaks, or before or after. It does not allow. So I started, I gave one shiur, they're happy, I came next week, they're happy. It became routine every week now. So I'm speaking there. One time I came to speak about one subject, and all of a sudden, I don't know, sometimes all of a sudden you feel that Hashem is twisting your entire thought to a different direction. You don't understand why, and then later sometimes you understand. All of a sudden, I started to speak about the importance of giving mitzvah to Bachurei Yeshiva. How important it is to support the Torah. You become a partner of Tamchin Deoraita. You're supporting the Torah, which is the thing that Hashem loves the most. If anything makes Hashem happy, is that people are melim b'Torah. So I spoke for about half an hour about the importance of giving tzedakah. All of a sudden, this general, the president of this organization, walked in with a rabbi from Israel, from Ramot, from Yerushalayim. The rabbi walked with him together. And he came to me and whispered to me in Hebrew. He said, listen, this rabbi is from Yerushalayim, he has a kollel. The kollel is about to be closed in a week or two. They're in serious debt. I usually don't allow, but I see that it's an emergency. Plus, I feel bad for him. He doesn't speak one word in English. And it's the first time he ever went to America to collect. So יש לו את כל המעלות. He has everything you need not to collect. Don't speak the language, don't know where to go, don't know addresses, do not know how to run around. First time you're in America and you're under tremendous pressure. If you don't bring the money, the kollel is collapsing. He got the point. He realized it's an emergency. Every rule has an exception to the rule. So as soon as I started to talk exactly half an hour after I warmed the hearts of the people, without knowing what about to happen, they walked in. As I already prepared everything for the moment, like they say, you can bend the barzel when it's hot. You can bend the metal when it's hot. It's easy. You can design it. They were on fire. Look, I'm just showing you how the power of the Torah works. He walked in. He needed $10,000 to prevent he didn't have a big kollel, to prevent the kollel for the next month or two not to collapse. So he came. He said, "Tell them I have recommendations. I have some pictures." So I explained, there is a situation here, the yeshiva is in a serious problem. Usually when you come to do collection, so people give 101, 180, 126, you collect 1,000, 2,000. You collect 5,000, you're very happy. From a shiur, from a lecture, wow, it's a miracle. One guy, with that, I didn't even finish the sentence, 4,000. Then he said, and 4,000 for my parents. And then another second, and 4,000 for my sister and her husband. Less than a minute, 12,000. The guy sitting next to him got jealous. He hit 3 times, I'm sitting here, nothing. So he said, so 4,000 for me and my wife. Another guy, 1,000, 1,500, 500, $20,000 in a minute and a half. Why? Only because the half an hour the Torah destroyed the stinginess, the Yetzer Hara. Every person is to some extent, is not exactly the most generous in the world. Yeah, there are people who are more generous than the other. But even generous people, when they give an X amount of tzedakah, they feel the fire in the heart. It's natural. It's supposed to be this way. The Chazon Ish says if it doesn't hurt, it's not a very big zchut. It has to hurt. So that means if you hardly make a living and if you give $50, it hurts. $50 is almost a whole day of work for you. It hurts a lot. If someone makes $1 billion a year and he gives $50, it hurts. One cigar, he pay more money. It's no big deal for him. If he give 5,000, it hurts. He feel a little pain. It's all depends how much a person make. In הלכה, by the way, it doesn't matter. כתוב כל הגוזל מחברו, כאילו גוזל את נפשו, אפילו פרוטה. Even a quarter, even one coin. It's already like stealing his nefesh. כי האדם הוא הנפש, stealing his life. This is an example of the power of the Torah. You speak, you speak, you speak, and the person right now is in a level of an angel. For how long? An hour. 2 hours. What happened 2 hours later? If the rabbi would come 2 hours after the lecture, how much he would collect? $200, $500. And one of the lecture, I say the joke, one collector came and said, Rabbi, please help me out, I have to collect. And he said, listen, this community has too many collectors and they're not exactly so generous. Don't waste your time. Go maybe to better places, they're more wealthy over there. He said, Rabbi, I'm already here. What do you care? Give me 1 minute. 1 minute. Here, I brought some pitum aktoret, mezuzot. Let me do an auction. The rabbi said, go ahead, be my guest. So he said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm collecting for this cause. I have some mezuzot and I have some pitum aktoret. Please, let's make an auction. So he holds the pitum aktoret. It cost him from the sofer more than $200, $300 to make it. So he said, first thing, pitum aktoret. So one guy say 18. So okay, it's a beginning. 26, 36, 45, 50, 60, 70, 72, 90. At least I covered the cost of one mezuzah. Then one person say $1. It was all in pennies, in cents. $1. So he picked up everything. Rabbi, יודע חמור נפש בהמתו. $1. The question now is, let's focus on what we have to understand. Reason number 1, no emunah. Person with no emunah will never, ever be able to be happy. Doesn't matter what he has. If he owns half of the world, if he has the best wife, he has the best children, he has kavod, he has health, he has anything a person dream about. And he has lack of emunah, which means he constantly worry about the future, he will never, ever be happy. Remember this rule. Why? The only way to get a peace of mind is to have full trust in Hashem. What is it like? A person comes to you and say to you, here is a credit card. Don't worry, I'm a very, very wealthy man. Just use it as much as you want. Don't worry, whatever you want, 1,000, 10,000, 50. Use it as much as you want. Don't have to report to me. It's automatically get paid from my account, and I have plenty of money. No matter how much you use it, don't worry, there's plenty of money. A check. He has billions of dollars. Don't worry. Now, this person from this moment on is worried about money. He has a tree that grows money. And whatever he wants, he uses. He doesn't have any more problems. He has a peace of mind. It doesn't mean he's going to be happy, but at least now he has a chance to be happy. Before he would never be happy because something always disturbs him. It eats him up. That's one thing. Second reason that a person can never be happy. What is it? Who knows? One, we say lack of emunah. Second reason. Jealousy. Jealousy. There was something that happened. There was a woman maybe 80 years old, she passed away. She wasn't religious. She wasn't religious. And they buried her, and then something happened. They had to move her and move her to a different grave. And when they opened the grave after a while that she was buried, they found out that her body was complete. No holes, the worms did not eat anything. The body is complete. Usually when something like this happens, you know right away that the person that got buried there is a very big tzaddik. Like they brought the Mekubal Ochayon from Morocco. After 60 years he was buried. His body was brand new. Not one hole. Not one hole in the body. So they announced in Yerushalayim, everyone leaves the yeshivot, leave the homes, everyone come to see in your own eyes what does it mean to be a tzaddik. They wanted everyone to come and see. Mamash, they called people to lefarsem et hanes. 60 years in a grave, they brought him from Morocco to Israel and it's complete. One time I said that story in a lecture that I spoke in Brooklyn, and I had one Russian guy. He just came from Russia to America, hardly speak English. And he got up and he said, I can tell you that you're 100% right. I said, why? He said, I was in Russia, we used to make roads. And one time we were making like underpass, you know, we're digging with a shovel, and all of a sudden we found out there are graves over there. Nobody knew there's graves. And then when we cleaned the sand, I see on a piece of stone, I see letters in Hebrew, and I see Star David, and all of a sudden, before I even realized, we see a body. We see under the sand, mamash, an open body. It wasn't like today that they cover the whole thing. They just put it, and that's it. The rest they bury inside. You see, I see a body. I see a man laying down, white beard, and long peot. Now the people there that makes the road, they don't care now, graves. Take everything out. They don't care. They want to make the road. They got a contract. When I saw he's a Jew, he said, this guy is a Jew, but not religious. He said, I looked at him, I cannot believe. And they looked on the dates, they have dates when it was. He said he was already there for, I don't remember, 30 years, 20 years, whatever it was. And the body was complete. And he testified that he saw in his own eyes that he cleaned everything and he was 100% complete, everything. Could be also a big tzaddik. So this woman, when they came to Rav Chaim Kanievsky, they said, Rabbi, we know at tzaddikim, they don't have jealousy. Why? Jealousy is the reason, Chazal say, why the body get rotten, one of the reasons, get rotten in a grave. Someone who does not have jealousy, it does not affect him. Rekev atzamot kinah, it says. When the bones get rotten, it's the reason for it, jealousy. So they said to Rav Chaim Kanievsky, okay, jealousy, maybe there's a big Talmid Chacham, he had emunah. Okay, so he doesn't have jealousy, but this woman wasn't even religious. How come she never had jealousy? So he said, go and find out, check about her. And they found out that when she was a very young girl, she went into an accident and she was in her coma all her life. So she never jealous. She never got jealous. She wasn't unconscious. They went and checked about her and they found out that all her life she was like this. So this is an example how when a person doesn't have an opportunity or he controls his Yetzer Hara not to be jealous, then he has something that most people do not have. It's against the law of nature. Because usually when a body is in a grave, that's what happened. What's the third reason? Pride. What we call ego. Pride. Pride does not let a person ever be happy. I'll tell you why. He comes to a wedding, his friend put him to sit with the back to the band. He's on fire. He said to his wife, give me the check. Give me the check. It was 1,000. He crossed out 1 0. Moshe, what are you doing? One more word, you say, I'm going to make it 10. You're embarrassing us. They brought us $500 on our bar mitzvah. Don't make me bushot, his wife. What happened? It becomes a big fight. Wow, they're fighting. What happened? Why? Something tiny like that. They put him not in a VIP section. It's ready to kill already. But some people are worse than that. Get up. Right now we're leaving. Get up. Moshe, I'm begging you, don't embarrass me here. Get up! I've seen one time, I'm embarrassed to tell you, 1989, I was invited to lunch by someone's house. A guy, I don't want to tell what nationality he was, and his wife was, one of these gentle American educated women, very educated, with degrees and reading books all day. And she made a delicious meal. And then something so foolish. There was something he asked her and she didn't hear, and he asked again and she answered something that he didn't like. You know what he did? There was few American women. There was her sister there. There was another American man. It was me. It was her daughter. It was her son, young boy. And it was him sitting in the table. He got up and he picked up the whole table with plates and soup and meat and rice. The whole table. In the air. By the way, I saw it coming. As soon as I grabbed it, right away, I jumped to the wall. Everything. On fire. Why? Anger, pride. One guy in Israel, he lives in Hulon. And he drives a semi-trailer. This cement truck that they pour cement and they make sidewalks. So since it's a long truck, he needs the driveway always to be clear because he has to come in reverse. It's very difficult to enter the driveway. He has a long driveway in his villa. So he put signs. Don't dare to park too close to the driveway. So every once in a while, someone drives a little bit, he's a little bit too close. He puts stickers, he go crazy. One time he comes to the driveway, he's tired after a long day, 8 o'clock at night. What does he see? A car is parking inside his driveway. I don't have to tell you what happened to his brain. His body temperature rises by the minute. And he said, I'm going to teach this one a lesson he will never forget. He went reverse with the truck. The mixer started to roll. He goes like this. All the cement on a brand new car. It's a true story that happened in Israel about 12, 15 years ago, something like that. He poured the whole cement that he had left in the mixer, and then he took his shovel, and he made sure on the side to attach it, not to leave the handles or anything that he cannot go in. Now he relaxed. I said, this guy will never forget me. I teach him a lesson. He walks inside the house. He turns the light on. All his sons, his daughters-in-law, his wife, everyone. Surprise! Happy anniversary, father! 25 years! We got you what you always dreamed. Brand new car. Kadosh Baruch Hu, in 1 minute taught him lesson that it would take 20 years to learn. Usually it goes together. Pride leads to anger. Anger leads to pride. It's everything, every little thing disturbs him. Someone like this will never be happy. They didn't give him enough kavod, he's angry. Someone who saw him did not run to say hello to him, he's angry. His wife didn't listen to his instructions. One time I went to a place, I stayed there for Shabbat. And by the end of Shabbat, the mail comes, It's a key moment, Motzi Shabbat. So the owner of the house, he looked at the mail. He got a letter from the mortgage company that the last payment wasn't made. Skip the payment. Now in America, I don't know how it's here in London, but in America, you can build yourself a wonderful credit for 20 years. You have high score. One late payment like this knocked down your credit and made you a huge damage in your credit, because it all goes on credit, your score. You want to get a mortgage, they check your credit, 1, 2, 3, you get a mortgage. If you have payments you don't make, it's all recorded. late credit card payment, or you didn't pay, or lawsuits, or things like this, it lowers the credit, you can't get a mortgage. And if you get a mortgage, it has to be in a private way, and you pay double on the interest. Very difficult. As soon as he saw that, he screamed. Is why I'm changing the name. Sarah! You didn't pay the mortgage! Now we all sit in the living room, all the guests that were there for Shabbat. I already felt in her voice that she's about to drop dead, the poor woman. She said, oh my gosh, I forgot. So what do you think his answer was? What did he answer there? To go to the mall every week, you never forget. She's so lucky I was there. If not, they would already do the next day ashkava. Amrachem al kol briotav. Why? That's it. So what's the thing? A person today, the marriage situation is not doing so good. It's a lot of shlom bayit issues. What's the reasons for it? One, people became over materialistic. In the previous generation, even the secular parents that we had, for those who had secular parents, it seems that their marriage was better than some of the religious people today. Why 40, 50 years ago marriages had very low divorce rate, and today it's going to percentage that nobody can believe such thing? People have to ask themselves, does it even pay to get married based on the statistic? You know, in Israel they have a rabbanut. So when you go to the rabbanut, you have one room, it says kiddushin, and one room gerushin. There's an old man there, he has this necklace, you know, like the Iraqi and the Syrian, the old man, they sit with their mustache there by there all day, play sheshbesh. So he had this, you know, necklace like this. And masbacha. Very good. Very good. Masbacha. So he said to him, hey, you know, a couple, they come to get engaged, so they go inside the kiddushin, they're happy, the girl, she sees stars. So this guy said to them, take a number over there also. And they look, they see gerushin. He said, what? The guy said to him, אתה לא מתבייש? You're not embarrassed? That's what you're wishing us? He said, no, chas v'shalom. I am sitting here for years. I know usually everyone comes here with a smile, comes back a year or two later with a cry. But then he has to wait another 2 years. I'm giving you an advice. Shortcut. Cut the line. This was 20 years ago. So what's the reason? Materialistic lifestyle to level that no matter what the people have, it's not enough. So there are always problems. Money issues. They want more and more, and it doesn't work, and there's bills and the stress. That's one reason. What's the other reasons? I always say in my lectures, if I had the time and the money, I would open a college. Not a regular college. There's plenty of them. What kind of college? College that would teach people preparation for marriage. As a course for a man how to be a successful husband and a father. And for the women, how to be a wife and a mother. And teach them the laws. A man has to learn about the woman has to learn about the man. And they learn all the psychology. Depression before giving birth. Depression after giving birth. Now, for instance, I give you an example. One guy came to me once, he said, listen, Rabbi, we got married about a year ago, everything worked out, was beautiful, and I think something is wrong with my wife. I said, what's wrong? I don't think she's so faithful anymore. So I said to him, what makes you think so? You have any proof? He said, no, I checked, I don't have any proof, but you feel it. So we're thinking, we're talking, I'm asking him a few questions. Then I said to him, I think I know what happened. He said, what? He said, did you tell your wife recently that she gained weight? Told me, yes, she did. Told him, okay, your marriage is over. He said, what do you mean my marriage is over? He doesn't even understand. I said, because he was telling him, I told him, what makes you think so? He said, she's avoiding me. First 6 months, we were zugionim. All the time. All of a sudden, she's a headache, don't feel good, I'm sad today, leave me alone, I have to go to the doctor, excuses every day. So when he told me that, I got the point. So I told him, you don't understand. If you learn a little bit Chazalim, Gemarot, Torah, a little bit, you would know the psychology of a woman. You can build her confidence with compliments 20 years. One derogatory comment that you make her lose her confidence, that's it. She cannot be near you anymore. Doesn't like me anymore. This is a typical mistake. I'll give you another example. What's another very common mistake that the husband does, especially if he's Faradi? You have to learn how to make the chamin for my mother. Or the gondi. Make sure next time I tell you I ask my mother to teach you how to make. 20 years to fix this mistake. Or from his sister. You understand what's happening here? This is little mistakes that basically ruin the relationship. So this is an example. And then to be parents, not to contradict each other, not to fight near the kids. There's a lot of things to learn. A person doesn't know. Of course, there's so many problems. Every tiny thing today, right away. Divorce. Okay, Rabbi, we want to get divorced. One time, I was able to save a divorce case. You won't believe what it was. It was, a guy told me, listen, I cannot stand her parents anymore. They interfere with everything in my house, and I want tomorrow to come to the Beit Din. Please help me out. I want to get it over with tomorrow morning. Mishamayim, I was right there in town, not far, because I live very far from here. So wait until midnight. I finish my lecture, I come to your house. I went there, I listened to them. So one of the things they say, that her parents tell her, bring the boy and come to your parents. Leave him. Come, we'll help you out. Why? You'll never believe why. Her car broke, and 3 days is standing in a driveway, and he didn't have time to take it to the mechanic. So they tell her, you see, we told you he doesn't love you. If it was his car, he would fix it in 10 minutes. Your car can stay there forever. Or another thing he told me, they come to my house, they open the closets. There's not enough cans. You see, we told you your husband is cheap. You didn't listen to us. Come now before you have 4 kids. Maybe they mean well, I don't know. But they're definitely destroying them. So Baruch Hashem, a young couple, I gave them a 1-hour lecture, and everything got fine, and until today they married. That was a long, long time ago.
They fixed the car.
If I'm not mistaken, he even bought her a nice car later on, if I remember correctly. But it's okay. Bottom line here, there are things that a person make foolish mistake that destroyed his life, and if he would have the right training, he would never does it. He would never do such a thing. There's one more thing. The Gemara say, "En simcha ke'atarat asfekot." Most of us live always in a doubt. We have a doubt. A girl go out on a date with a guy. He's from yeshiva, she's from midrashia. They're not sure. It's very difficult to know if it's the right shidduch. Very difficult. Most of the time, people get married with some doubts. Not everything is black and white. There's mamash. There's always some gambling here. So what happened? When a person gets the final answer that he comes out of the doubt, it has a great relief in his life. Let me give you an example. A person has a real estate deal. Real estate deal. And the real estate deal is that he's already waiting 6 months for the customer to sign the contract. Yeah, next month, my lawyer, I'm waiting for an answer, the mortgage. And he's going and going and going and going. And this guy, the broker, is already going out of his mind. He said, how long this deal will be stretched? How long? So, thank you. So how long this deal will be stretched? And then one day he gets an answer. The deal is off. We're not doing the deal. We're not doing the deal. He gets very upset for a day or two. And then he has a great relief, even though he lost the deal. But at least the doubt that was eating him up is gone. Same thing in shidduchim. Same thing in partnership. Same thing in many, many other doubts in the life of a person. When he lives with the safek eats him up. That's the nature of a person. So the Gemara says, En simcha ela ke'atarat asfekot. One more reason. A person in life, in order for him to be happy, he must have a mission, must have a goal, must have a target that he aims to that direction. If a person doesn't have any goal to achieve, he has no plan, he has no dream, he has no reason why I should live in the next 5 years, he can never be happy. I give you an example. There was a Bachur Yeshiva, does not get up in the morning, sleep, doesn't come to Shachrit. By the time they wake him up, Kum, Moshe, it's 10 o'clock already, Kum, the Seder started. No Shachrit, maybe he pray 2 minutes in a room, like this, and he's very depressed. All day I said. The Rosh Yeshiva sent him to a psychologist, Haredi, evaluate him, try this, try that, try medication, nothing helps. A guy, it's called Marash Chora. Everything is black in his life. So the psychologist, he knew the Stipler. Stipler is the father of Rav Chaim Kanievsky when he was alive. So he told the Stipler, do you mind evaluate this person and give me an advice what to do with him? Whatever I tried according to psychology, it just does not work. So he went to the Stipler. After 10 minutes sitting with the Stipler, he came out from the room with the first smile ever. Nobody ever saw him smile, this guy. Someday he came to the yeshiva. The light came back to his face. And from the next day, he was the first one in a minyan. And he learned like a tiger. Fire! The psychologist said, well, I know the Stipler is Ruach HaKodesh. I know he's a big tzaddik. I have to learn from him what he did. So he came to the Stipler. He said, Rabbi, teach me what you did. What you just did is against all odds. The Stipler said, I told him, I want you to write a book. What Gemara you learn? He told him, Masechet, I don't know, Kiddushin, Shabbat, whatever he was learning. I want you to write a book on the Masechet. And I will sit with you on your book, and I will write you a letter of recommendation, and I want you to publish the book to the world. Even though I wasn't a rabbi, I wasn't anything special, this Talmid. Hardly has a mood to learn. When a person saw that the biggest rabbi perhaps in the world at that time, he told him, I want you to write a book and I will go over the book and give you a recommendation. He gave him a reason to live. Until now he did not have a mission. All of a sudden his life received value. And from the next day he became a new person. Many times you have kids that are off the derech, they bad, they do all kinds of crimes, the police come to visit every week. If you come and say, you know what, I want to buy you a new car. Father comes to his son. Let's make a deal. You go from now until this, you learn, you do this, he makes an agreement with him. And here I promise you, I give you my word, by this date you get the car of your dream. Or whatever it is, or trip, or whatever he wants. From that moment on, it's not always working, there's no 100%, but the kid, the teenage, already got a reason to live now. He has a goal. He's dreaming about a car. That's right now his dream in his life. Now all of a sudden it became possible. You gave him a mission. For that he's willing to change. Before, my life is a mess anyway. What's the big deal? Now you give him a mission. Or you make a person important. Someone asked the Chazon Ish, said, Rabbi, I'm not a rabbi. But some people, because I give them Dvar Torah, they call me a rabbi. Am I allowed? So the Chazon Ish told him, it makes you feel good? He said, yes. It makes me feel good and it gives me more cheshek to teach them. Because I know they hold highly of me, so it gives me motivation. So the Chazon Ish told him today, anyway, there's plenty of titles anyway, you're allowed. Even though according to Chazal, a person shouldn't do it, the Chazon Ish already knew the nefesh of this Bachur. He told him, if that's what's helped you, you're allowed. Believe it or not. We'll give another example. There is a rule that sometimes people do not want to do something because they're not attracted to it. Tell them, I want you to do this. So I'm not attracted to it. It doesn't talk to me. This mitzvah I cannot do. I don't like it. Please leave me alone. I'm not ready for it. It's not my level. A lot of excuses. I give you an example. Sometimes a person, you give him something to eat and he cannot eat it. He just look at that, he wants to vomit. I was like this. When I was in the army, I used to be in a place where it's under the ground, and it's actually, this area where I was responsible for the safety of the entire south of Israel. The entire south, all the border with Egypt and part of Jordan was under our supervision, which means it was F-16 airplanes. And that once there is a siren, within a minute we have to make sure that the pilots are in, ready. We take all the safety pins and the missiles, and we get him out and we direct him to go. And within a minute he has to be in the air already. It's kinds of practicing. Therefore, because it's a high alert, you have to sleep with the shoes, and with the uniforms, 48 hours you're not allowed to take them off. Can't take your shoes off. If you take your shoe off and someone saw you, you go to jail. If someone saw you without the shirt or things like this, you go to jail. Why? You took a risk. Siren, and sometimes they have exercise. It's not real. You don't know. Hope the siren go on. Only later you know if it was real or not. You have to always do it. So since you're there, you're not allowed to go to the kitchen. The kitchen is far. You need a bus to take you to the kitchen. All the other soldiers from other places, in there, it's called not mivtzai. They're not on alert. They're not on a call. They can go to the kitchen and come back. They have lunch break. We don't have lunch break. We have to be there all the time ready. So they used to bring food in boxes. Just throw it. Make yourself what to eat. We have to be independent. We had a little kitchen where we are. So what there used to be in the Israeli army? Eggplant every day. Eggplants. At that time, I couldn't look at eggplants. Why? When I was a kid, my mother used to burn it on the fire, and it looks like all these, It didn't look so good. I hated it. But there's nothing to eat. There's two things they used to give. These eggplants, that you have to do something with that. And what is the second thing? Huh? Loof. Loof. Gzar din mavet. Loof, death sentence. Meat, 2 years old, in a can. In a can. As soon as you open it, I don't know if it smells like a dead dog or a dead rat. But 5 people around you faint. As soon as you open it. Now how are you gonna eat it? We try to fry it, we put tons of paprika. The horrible taste doesn't go away. There's nothing to eat. Bread, little peanut butter. This is it. Some vegetables sometimes. So since you have nothing to eat, I was forcing myself to eat eggplant. Today, my favorite food is eggplant. How did it happen? This is the secret of life. Most people think, if I'm attracted to something, I'm able to do it. If not, it's not my taste. I cannot do it. I cannot eat it. I cannot wear it. I cannot use this car. I cannot do this. I cannot do that. That's the way it thinks. The Torah didn't say it. The Torah say, "Acharei ha'peulot nimshachim halevavot." Hashem told us something that it's so important and most people do not pay attention to it in their life. Hashem say, it's not what you think. You think if you like it, you'll be successful. No. Doesn't matter you like or not. If you want to like it, it's just a matter of time until you like it. It will come. You will force yourself once, then you close the nose when you eat the loof. And then the next time, a little bit one side you open, and the next month another side. And after 4 months, hey, I'm still alive. And another month or 2, this loof, delicious, ma'adan. Some people used to eat it like ma'adan, believe it or not. What's going on here? People can change their nature completely by practicing something again and again and again and again and again, For instance, one guy was vegetarian. He came to our yeshiva. He cannot see meat. He almost vomit when he see meat. He cannot look at that. Everyone constantly tell him, what kind of Jew you are? You don't eat meat. Shabbos meal, Yom Tov. Meat is important. I have to eat once a week at least meat. No, I can't. No. I don't have to. Constantly. In the end, you say, you know what? I have to really start eating meat. So, started to practice, little bit. Went back to normal. Eating meat, 100%, enjoy meat, eating meatballs, everything 100% fine. I remember when he was still vegetarian, I gave him something that had meat inside. I wanted to see his reaction. If it's psychology or it's really the taste. He was eating it, licking his fingers. I said, you just enjoy a beautiful things full of ground beef inside with all kinds of vegetables. No, really? I said, yeah, see, it was delicious. It's all in your head. That was the turning point. I told him it's all in the head. Make the switch in your head and you get rid of this problem. And he got rid of this problem. So a person can program himself to do whatever he needs to, even if he does not like it. And that's the way to overcome depression, stress, lack of confidence, stinginess, pride, anger, one after the other. Why? You force yourself to do things. For instance, someone gets you angry, you work on it, you're focusing. You cannot do many things at a time, one thing at a time. From this moment on, I'll never get angry. And you're working on it non-stop. And they get you in and you don't answer, and you don't answer, and you don't answer. Yesterday I said in my shiur a story about Igor. You heard that story or no? Bet Knesset Igor in Israel. Why? One guy that's not religious beat up a guy that was religious in a little tiny accident. And the religious guy said, give me, I deserve it. More, give me more. Instead of fighting back, you're right, I'm sorry. After a few minutes, the guy went, he said, well, wait a minute, what? You don't deserve it. It's an accident. What am I doing? I'm beating you up. He was expecting resistance. I give him back. He called the police, something. Action. He saw the religious guy surrender right away. After that, he felt horrible that he hit him. Because he realized he doesn't deserve it. So they became friends. And then one day, he started to make him religious. And once he became religious, one day he came to him and said, listen, I want to donate money to build the shul. My dog just died, Igor. Can we call the shul after Igor? So I went to one of the Chachamim. He said, Rabbi, can we name a shul after a dog? What's the dog name? Igor. He said, hey, Igor, it's the name of a person. Call it Bet Knesset Igor. No one would know anyway who it is. And that's what motivated him to become religious. Why? Now there's a shul named after his dog that it was the love of his life. I once said, sometimes you go in Manhattan, you see 6 o'clock in the morning, people walk in the freezing 20 below zero with their dog. And then they have a glove, they bend down, they pick up the treasure that the dog left. And I'm thinking to myself, what a strange world we live in. This guy worth probably $200 million. He walks 6 o'clock in the morning serving a dog. He's a servant of a dog. Think about it. The dog is not his son. And he's serving the dog. And then he has to worry, take him to the vet and make sure 3 times a day he goes to the bathroom and call, did you take him out? You know, I have a family, they became religious. One day they became Baalei Tshuva and they wanted to move from Ramle to Yerushalayim. So my uncle, Alav HaShalom, he came to Chacham Ben Zion Abba Shaul, Alav HaShalom. He said, Rabbi, I'm about to quit my job. I retired from my job. I used to work for Amcor. Amcor was a refrigerator company in Israel. I was working there 30, 40 years, whatever the case was. So I say to him, Rabbi, I'm about to get pension money. And I want to move to Yerushalayim. Should I buy a house, an apartment in Yerushalayim and take mortgage? Because the money that I have would not be enough. Right now I live in Ramle in rent. By rent. Now I'm going to have finally money to buy a house. In Ramle, I can buy an apartment without a mortgage. And in Yerushalayim, the money that I get will be half of the amount. and the rest I have to take a mortgage, and I'm not exactly a young person. What should I do? So Chacham Ben Zion Abba Shaul told him, when you have the money in your hand, come and ask me the same question. He got very nervous. Oh, maybe the rabbi see they're not going to pay me my pension. So Rabbi, why? You see that I'm not getting the money? No. When you get the money, you come ask me again. My uncle was a chachmolog. You know what chachmolog? A wise guy. He asked. He's not embarrassed. He said, Chacham, Mechila, what's the nafkamina? What's the difference if I have now the money or I'll have it in a month? I'm asking you a question, halakha. It's like someone asked, tell me, this coffee by this brand is kosher or not? So when you have the coffee in your hand, come and ask me. What is this? Tell me, kosher or not kosher? Allowed to eat or not allowed to eat? He didn't understand. He told me, Rabbi, explain to me why you're telling me this. So he told him, now it's only a general question. It's not halakha lema'aseh, because you don't have the money in your hands. Once you're going to have the money in your hands, it's going to be a critical question of life and death. To go there or to stay here, it's going to affect your entire life. Then Hashem will help me to give you the right answer. Because both of them can be right. Some people have to stay there without a mortgage. Some will go to Yerushalayim with a mortgage. Depends. Only Hashem knows the real answer. Now, since I am a Da'at Torah, I'm a big people come and ask me. I give my life for the people. I don't charge money. I do this, I do that. I serve them. I pray to Hashem every day to help me to give them the right answer. So I'm a vessel. I'm a vessel to answer people what God wants them to do. Especially when he was such a holy mouth and a big tzaddik and humbled and chacham. So he had all the advantages. So what did we learn from here? That is a difference when you ask a general question or when you read in She'elot v'Tshuvot, question and answer. When it applies to an individual, it could be the opposite of what the book say. The opposite. Why? Two people came to him. One said, Rabbi, I want to learn Torah all night in the yeshiva. He said to him, no. The Rambam say you have to sleep at least 6 hours a night. 5 minutes later, another person came and asked. He told them, of course, you have to learn all night. Why didn't do it until now? Didn't you see what the Rambam say? The nights were given to learn Torah. Why? He knew the nefesh of the Talmidim. He knew this guy would start 3-4 days. Not only he won't learn all night, the day what he was learning also will go down. But the other one, he knew is ready. This is Torah. It's not black and white always. It sometimes depends who the person is. Like Rav Eliashiv, alav shalom, one mechanech wrote in a book that he asked Rav Eliashiv about Baalei Tshuva. Someone who became a Baal Tshuva. What to teach them? To teach them only the red line, from here don't go below it, or to teach them in a high level, chumrot, extra. Rav Eliashiv say to him, Baalei Tshuva only ikar adin. Don't play with fire. You put too much on their shoulder in the first few years. In the end, they collapse. And even the ikar adin they won't do. That's what he told him. But if somebody that is 20 years religious in yeshiva would come to Rav Eliashiv and ask him, so of course, chumrot, what? Of course, chumrot. You're in a level already, you can do a little bit extra. Now I want to read you the word of Chazal. You tell me what you think. The Torah says, "Pat b'melach tochal." You should be ready to eat bread with salt if it's necessary. It's not an obligation all your life to eat bread and salt. No, Hashem doesn't want us to suffer. He didn't give this world to suffer. One day a year we have to torture ourselves. Yom Kippur. The rest, He wants you to eat, to be healthy, to dress okay. To enjoy life, why not? Pad b'melach tochal. Eat with bread. You have to be satisfied when you have to eat bread with salt. It's also fine. Fine, dayenu. Mayim b'mesorah tishteh. Drink simple water. V'chaye tzar tichyeh. You have to get ready to live in the lowest standard with agony and all kinds of suffering. אשריך בעולם הזה, וטוב לך בעולם הבא. You're lucky in this life, and it's good for you for the afterlife. It's good for you for the afterlife. I believe everybody understands why. You lived very down to earth. You did not run after desires. So you gave your life for the Torah and you live very simple. You ate a piece of bread with a little salt and some water, no steaks, no fancy restaurant, nothing fancy. You slept on a lousy mattress. All you cared about is spirituality. So we understand why it's good for you for Olam Haba. But why Ashrecha ba'olam hazeh? This world, what people like? To eat good food, tasty food, or horrible food? Tasty food. Nice suit, or suit full of dirt and ugly? Nice suit. Decent car, or a car? Everybody wants decent lifestyle, no? We even pray for it every day. Give me this, give me that. So why Chazal say, Ashrecha ba'olam hazeh? I'll tell you another story and I connect both of them. Eliyahu Hanavi was very angry in the nation of Israel for things that they used to do. So he came to them and he said, from this moment on there will not be rain. I make a decree, no more rain. I lock the gate of heaven. No more rain. How long? 3 years. 3 years, no rain. This year also is very poor rain. No, poor year. No year, no rain. Almost no rain at all in Israel. After 3 years, after Eliyahu was hiding and the ravens were bringing him some food, Hashem told him, now it's the time to cancel this decree. Go. So he came. It used to be Achav and Nevi'ei Baal, all the fake people who teach Avodah Zarah and things against Hashem, and they pretend they're important rabbis, and they wear all these things, and they're with the king, Achav. And Eliyahu Hanavi, a tzaddik hayachid besdom, only one tzaddik in the world, against all the fake ones. And he came and he said, we're going to bring korban, and we see who Hashem wants, mine or yours. And everyone came, the nation of Israel, and Hashem showed everyone, fire came and took the korban of Eliyahu Hanavi, and then everyone said, Hashem hu ha'elokim, Hashem hu ha'elokim. That's what we say in Aseret Yemei Teshuvah. Hashem hu ha'elokim, Hashem hu ha'elokim. Then we say Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, but this we say all year round. Where this pasuk comes from, Hashem hu ha'elokim. Everyone, the entire nation of Israel, bow down and say, Hashem, God is the God. Hashem is the God. And everyone knew, and he destroyed all the Nevi'ei Baal. So I saw one of the Mefarshim ask, if Eliyahu Hanavi was so powerful, why didn't he destroy them 3 years earlier? Why he made everybody in the nation of Israel suffer 3 years with nothing to eat, nothing to drink? If there is fake ones who teach things against Hashem, and you know you're the messenger of Hashem, you know who you are, why don't you come and say, come all of you, and we'll see what's going to happen, and that's it. Why you make everyone suffer for 3 years? The answer is, the simple lifestyle, 3 years, lower their ego and pride to 0. That's why everyone scream, Hashem hu ha'elokim, Hashem hu ha'elokim. If Eliyahu Hanavi would make that show 3 years earlier, half of the people would come to him and say, because of you, Jews dying. You are a criminal. That's what they told Moshe Rabbeinu with Korach and Adato. Moshe and Aaron. אתם עמיתם את העדה. You killed them. Why? We killed them? Hashem killed them. What do you want from us? Hashem opened the ground, not me. Moshe, it's your fault. Why? They were not suffering enough yet. When a person is down like this, it takes away all his ego, everything. Before we finish, and I give you some time for questions, this is what Hashem say. Shmor mitzvotai, keishon enecha, keep my mitzvot, make sure, like the pupil in your eyes. Why? What's the things that is most precious to a person? His eyes. A person that loses his eyes, all he sees is one color, he doesn't see anything. It's very difficult to live like this. So obviously a person, chas v'shalom, if he had a choice, the last thing he would give up is this. So it says, Va'ata banim shim'u li, Ashrei drachai ishmoru, ki motzi matzah chaim. That's in the book of Mishlei. Someone who will keep my mitzvot and will follow my mitzvot will find life. And wait a minute, what did I have until now? I lived in Dizengoff, earring, tattoos, Shabbat driving to the beach, Christine living with him in the same apartment. And he's, look at my cousin, poor guy, he's in yeshiva all day. You feel what a life I have. Business is booming. The rabbi told me I'm a tzaddik because I gave a nice check. I was very happy. Everything is beautiful. It reminded me, about 15 years ago, I used to give a lecture in a real estate office in Queens, in New York. I used to go Friday, 12 o'clock, give about 2 hours lecture with proofs on the wall, with the computer, with the transparencies. And the office had almost about 50 guys and girls from Israel, all of them Chilonim. They came from Israel to work in real estate. Maybe they make the money, like some of others already made. So my friend brought me to his office. He works there. And he said, come every Friday, give a shiur. And then I have to go drive all the way back to Monsey for Shabbat. So Baruch Hashem, I came. I started to give a lot of proofs. And they never saw these things. Wow, really, the Torah is from Hashem. They started to change. 3 weeks, revolution in the office. 3 weeks. What happened? One guy cut his ponytail. One guy left Christine. 2 girls that used to come with shorts and tight jeans, long skirts. Revolution. Mincha and Arvit in the office. Mincha and Arvit. 3 weeks. Psh, I'm happy. Wow, every week such a progress, Baruch Hashem. 4th week I came. Instead of 40, 50 people waiting in a room, 5 people sitting there. I walked into the office. How are you, Oren? Turn around. I walk forward. I see the 2 girls went back to the mini skirt and to the jeans. I looked around. I see the office is almost empty. I come to the room, 5 people. I smell something is not right here. I call my friend, where are you? What happened? He told me, don't ask. Remember last week when you were here, an hour after you left, 2 people came here. And they started to give Divrei Torah also. Started to say all kinds of things about the parasha. One person came and asked them, tell me, there's a rabbi who comes here every week, and he say, Mechalel Shabbat is a very big thing. The Torah says, V'nichreta nefesh hayim Yisrael. Is it true that Hashem cut the soul because the person doesn't keep Shabbat? Chas v'shalom. God forbid. Who told you such a thing? There's no such a thing, Yehudi Rasha. There's no wicked Jew. There's no such a thing, Chiloni. I don't know, maybe they came from a different world. I don't really know. No, don't believe it. It's not the right way. This is not the right way. All of you tzaddikim, I promise you, our rabbi promised, every Jew goes to heaven just for being a Jew. The Torah, half of the Torah, be careful not to be wicked. Chas v'shalom, you can lose everything. Half of the Torah, it's warning. In 1 second, half of the Torah I threw to the garbage. The one who told them that. Is it true this? Is it true that? Basically everything I said, 1, 2, 3, they smashed everything. They felt great. He called Christine. Christine, I apologize. Would you take me back? Move back with Christine. This guy wanted to grow back his ponytail, but there wasn't enough time. The girls went back to the mini, and everyone went back to be like goyim. Do you understand the danger? What does it mean, chanufa, to come to someone for whatever agenda you have, I don't know, and to tell them you're great, you're righteous? That's the right way. I'm not saying that when you speak to the public, always hit them and criticize them. That's also not the right way everybody understands. You know, you raise children, you know, if you only criticize them, they run away. It's obvious, you don't have to be a genius to know it. So what's the right formula? 90% teach them the beauty of the Torah, prove that it's divine, speak about how great Hashem, speak about Emunah, speak about the parasha, secrets, parnasah, and 10%, smack them to wake up. There's no other way. Le'ava u'le'ira et Hashem. What? Hashem knew, when Hashem gave the Torah, He already knew there will be people that you cannot say one word about punishment next to them before they stone you to death. Hashem knew it. So why He published in the Torah all kinds of punishments? He should have said, dear Jew, whatever you like to do, you do, I'm happy. Better than nothing. That's people made up. A lot of people speaks like this. Can anyone tell me if he saw in the Torah such recommendation? Do whatever you like? You know, furthermore, in the Torah there's no such thing free choice. There's choice, but not free. What's the difference between free choice and choice? Free means, you want to work, come and work, I pay you. You don't come, you stay what you are. That's free. You got up in the morning, I'm not in a mood. You're not in a mood, stay home. You lost $100 salary, that's it. But you stay with what you have. No one hit you, no one took from you, no one nothing. But the Torah, there's no such thing. There's no such option in the Torah. The Torah always say, if you do what I told you, I will benefit you. Sooner or later, it's a matter of time. And if you do not do what I told you, I will make you pay a certain price. Right or wrong? Can anyone point at one pasuk in the Torah that allow a person to do whatever he feels like? Show me one pasuk like this, ever. Show me one pasuk like this in the words of the prophets. Nowhere. No such thing. The Torah says, you do good, you earn. You do bad, you lose. That's it. No in between. You always, every second of your life, it's like in the stock market. There's not 1 second it's stick on one number. It always either high or go up or down. You know, in Manhattan, there is the national debt number. You saw? It goes all the way from Manhattan to London. Very long number. And it constantly move. If you ever been in Manhattan, you know what I'm talking about. Is it possible that there will be 1 second that the number will freeze on one number? There's, I don't know, 16 digits or 18 digits over there. It's trillions of transactions a second are changing the debt of the United States. Every second, it's all the computers from all over the country. It never stays in one level. It either go high or it goes down. That's the life of a Jew. The life of a Jew. The Jew can never be paused. Either you're progressing or you're going back. You're going high or you're going down. There's no such thing staying in the same level. Why? Even if you sit on the chair and snore. What does it say? Yoshev batel kemet dami. It's considered that this hour that you sit on the table doing nothing, on a chair, it's like you're dead. You lost an hour of your life. The fact that you could have made another 500 mitzvot or 5,000 mitzvot, depending if you can learn 1 hour, it's a lot of mitzvot. And you set doing nothing, automatically you go back because the life is progressing and you're staying down. So if you're here and life is continue to move, you're not moving with life. You're staying back. This is it. You know, we have a beautiful song that everyone likes to sing. Kol ha'olam kulo, gesher tzar me'od. The whole world is a narrow bridge. Why the song does not say Kol ha'olam kulo derech tzara me'od, a narrow road? Why bridge? You know, there's no such thing coincidence in Judaism. Everything is calculated. Why does it say Kol ha'olam kulo, a narrow bridge? The world is a narrow bridge, not a narrow road. Did you ever think about it? The answer is, what's the difference between a bridge and a road? The difference between a bridge and a road is that on a road, if you're tired, you can go on the side and snore a little bit. You have to rest. But on a bridge, you cannot stand 1 minute. There's nowhere where to stand. You always must be progressing. Cannot stand to rest on a bridge. No such thing. This is why a bridge. Why a bridge? You always move forward. If not, chas v'shalom, someone will hit you. You get stuck on a bridge. This is the words of the Navi. Oy, האומרים לרע טוב, oy, to those that call what I call bad, they call it good. It's good mixed dancing. Don't listen to him. It's good. It's make harmony in a family. It's good. People dress not modest. It's very good. We don't live 3,000 years ago. But the Torah has rules. Listen, those rules were good for Rabbi Akiva, not for... We have a different Torah. It's good. It's good, go like this. Don't be fanatic. Samim choshech laor ve'or lechoshech. They call the light darkness. When they see someone chacham, love Torah, love mitzvot, Iran, primitive, choshech, get out of here. And a person, I don't want to tell you what he does from your respect here. That's Naor. Wow, this is great. Psh, what an intellectual. What is it according to the eyes of Hashem? Doesn't even want to look at him. But this is the way the world is. Then what does he say? What did he continue to say? Mar, קוראים מר למתוק ומתוק למר. Bitter, it's sweet for them, and sweet, it's bitter. ועליהם העוזבים דרכי יושר, ללכת בדרכי חושך. They leave the right path of Hashem, the straight path of Hashem, to follow a way of darkness, speaking spiritually. חוכמה ומוסר אווילים בזו. Who said that? Not Yosef Mizrachi, not Chacham Ovadia Yosef, not the Rambam, not Abaye and Rava, not Rabbi Akiva. Who said it? Shlomo HaMelech, that knew all the secrets of Hashem, of everything you can think of. He knew except one thing, red cow. But everything else he knew. Shlomo HaMelech wrote this pasuk in Mishlei, both of them in Mishlei. Chokhmah umusar evilim bazu. When people come to teach the wisdom of the Torah, as soon as they put some musar, they're beginning to destroy them, to criticize them. You won't speak, we won't let you speak, you cannot say these things here. And this is like a mafia. This is what's going on today. Or we won't give money. Or we call and we say there's a bomb threat. Or we'll make up stories about you. Don't play with us. The prophet Yeshaya, you know who was he? Prophet Yeshaya, one of the greatest prophets. He's receiving information from Hashem. You know what they did to him? What happened to him? Do you know? Who knows what happened to him? Nobody knows what happened to him? I have to move to London. What happened to the Navi Yeshaya? His grandson, the king, Menashe, took a big sword. He was looking for him. The chief rabbi of Israel has a grandson. And the grandson, he likes idols, like parties. So what happened? He told him what's going to be his end. In the name of Hashem. He got angry at him. His own grandfather. His own grandfather, not a stranger. The chief rabbi, your own grandfather. He had to go and hide. So he went to a tree. He dug the inside of the tree. And it looked from the outside complete. There was a little hole. And he went inside and hid. The chief rabbi of the world is hiding inside the tree in a forest. From whom? From his own grandson. 2 Jews, in case you didn't know. And they found out, someone told him where he is, and he came with a sword. and he chopped him, made him slices. Chopped his own grandfather to slices. When you speak to the Muslims, usually they're not denying that we are the chosen people. You say, in the Quran it says, Allah gave you the book, Allah gave you Eretz Israel, Allah made a peace with you, agreement with you. You say that. I'm not hiding it. But what's their point? You know what's their point? Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, he wrote the Amanat HaHamas. You know, he was a terrorist on a wheelchair. He's the founder of the Hamas. He wrote the, how do you say Amana in English? Constitution? Constitution of the Hamas. What? Charter? Charter of the Hamas. And this is what he wrote over there. One time I showed it in one of my lectures many years ago on a screen in English. He said the Jews, listen what he said, received everything from God. Torah, the promised land, he did for them. And instead of saying thank you, they constantly rebel against him again and again and again. Even their own prophets they killed. Our job is to punish them for what they did to God. And for that he started the Hamas. Read it. Go on the internet. Do the Hamas charter. Don't believe me. Read over there. Pages. He writes over there psukim from the Torah. And he say, our job, listen, our job is to punish them for what they did to God. Not political arguments, nothing like people think. It's all religion. When you don't accept Musar, it's not going to be any better. It's only going to get worse. First, Hashem sent, one person came to Shlomo HaMelech, he said, teach me the language of the animals. Shlomo HaMelech told him, it's not for you. If Hashem wanted people to know, he would teach them. No, I must know. I must know. He did not leave him alone. Okay, so he taught him the language. Then one day he comes home, he hears the roosters making all kinds of things. Oh, he got the point. What? Today, a thief would come to our master home to steal something. So he stayed all day home, he put bars by the window. The thief came, he could not enter. Why King Solomon told me it's not good to know the language of the animals? Look, I already got saved from a robbery. The next day he hears, today, Malach HaMavet wants to come and damage the boy of our master, the rooster saying. He said to his son, today you don't leave the house. Stay in the house all day, don't go on the street. Stay right here, don't move. Then the day passed by, my son got saved. Why? King Solomon told me you should not know the language of the animal. Beautiful. Look how many tragedies I already got saved from in 2 days. The third day, he heard the rooster saying, today the Malach HaMavet take the neshama of the boy or of the father, I don't remember, one of them. Now what can he do? He ran to Shlomo HaMelech, Rabbi, help me. What happened? I'm going to die today. Malach HaMavet come to take me. So, how do you know? I hear the animals talking. So I told you it's not good for you. The first day, Hashem just wanted to teach you a lesson. You lose $200 robbery. I will give you another 10 years to correct. You went against Hashem's plan. So he wanted to give you a little bit bigger warning. You also prevented that. I told you it's not good. Now you went and fought against Hashem instead of correcting yourself. You know, one guy, he was laying in bed, he was right here, and his wife next to him. And all of a sudden, he see Malach HaMavet come in front of him. The angel of death, it's full of eyes with a sword. He's right in front of him. He said, I was sent to take your neshama. So he said to his wife, neshama sheli, get up, they have to take you. Same guy. One day he walks by the river and he sees his mother-in-law drowning. Moshe! Help! So he takes out his chumash. Ashrei yoshvei betecha, she screamed, what are you doing now? Save me! So somebody told him, hey, your mother-in-law is drowning. What do? He said, I'm praying mincha. He said, what? What are you doing now? He said, it says in Shulchan Aruch, you have to pray mincha b'shkiyat hachama. She's shokat now, I gotta pray mincha. You know, they made a joke. Why Adam lived 930 years, such a long life? You know why? He didn't have a mother-in-law. He never had a mother-in-law. With no offense, the best mother-in-law, they're the best. It's just a joke. I'm afraid tomorrow they put an article that I insulted the mother-in-law. You know? I don't want to open another battle now. Do you know why HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't make Adam and Chava Chinese? Why you became silent? You're curious to know, huh? He was afraid they eat the snake. They would ruin the story. The snake came, he said, Chava, there's a tree there, grapes, beautiful grapes. She said, forget about the grapes. Come, Adam, breakfast. They told me to speak until 10, so I have 2 more minutes. In a small community in Europe, maybe it was here, I don't know, somewhere in Europe, אישה עם סיבוכי הריון מסרבת להפיל. A woman has pregnancy complication. Doctor tell them you have to make an abortion right now before you can die with the baby. It's a risk. She said, I don't care. I die. I'm not losing this kid. So, okay, as you wish. In the end, the boy was born. Later, the Holocaust came. She had 8 other kids before she had that boy. All of them got murdered by the Nazis in Shimam. And the only kid she had is that kid that she risked her life for him to be born. Do you know who this kid was? Rav Eliezer Man Shach, Gdol Ador. Rav Shach, if you go ever to Lakewood, you go to the Rosh Yeshivat Lakewood, Rav Kotler. You go into his living room. You sit by the Shabbos table, and you see a wall unit, all kinds of menorah, silver, nice kiddush cups. In the middle of there's 2 dusty, old pairs of shoes. Shoes from a long, long time ago. Very out of style, and full of dust, and holes. In the middle of the wall unit. Rav Aaron Leib Steinman, Gdol Ador today, went one time for Shabbat to Rosh Yeshivat Lakewood house. And he looked at the shoes and he said, what's these shoes inside the wall unit? He said, I inherited from my father, or inherited from my grandfather. So they said, what's so special about this food? It's about these shoes. So he said, many, many years ago, when the Jews were in a war, there were bombs falling all over. And the Rosh Yeshiva said to the students, I don't want to take risk on your life. Bombs are falling in town. Go back home. When the war will finish, come back to Yeshiva. So all the boys packed their stuff, they went on the trains, and they go home. One boy arrived home, he has a mother. The mother see her son showed up. She said, what's going on? Why are you doing home? He said, the Rosh Yeshiva sent all of us home because bombs are falling next to the yeshiva, and he doesn't want to take responsibility. So she said, what kind of Rosh Yeshiva is this? He doesn't know that the only way to get safe from the bombs is to sit and learn Torah? He sent you home, over here you're safer? Go back to yeshiva. So he said to her, how am I going to go back to yeshiva? I don't have money for the train. I'm very poor. I don't have money for the train. So she said, you can walk. He said, it's going to take me a week to walk. It's very far. She said, walk to yeshiva. Don't sit home. He packed back his bag and he started to walk to yeshiva. After a week, he arrived at the yeshiva. The Rosh Yeshiva, if I remember correctly, was Iser Zalman Meltzer, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. All of a sudden, he see the boy came back. He said to him, what's going on here? How did you arrive here? He told him, I walked all the way from home because I didn't have money for the bus. So he said, but why you came back? I told you there's a war here. See bombs, you hear the bombs. He said, my mother said this and this and that. So he felt so ashamed, the Rosh Yeshiva. Right away, he took a lot of money that he had, and he said, please, I'm begging you, sell me your shoes. Here, I give you enough shoes. He saw already the shoes got ripped from walking a week. Sell me the shoes, and go buy yourself new shoes, and plus you have some extra money. He gave him the shoes, and he went and bought himself new shoes. And then, after the Rebbe, that rabbi that bought the shoes, passed away, he gave it to his son. And then he gave it to his grandson. And the grandson is Rosh Yeshivat Lekud, Rav Kotler. Who was that boy? The same boy that got saved. Rav Shach. You don't become the biggest rabbi in the world just because you have beautiful beard. No. He gave his life for the Torah. And the last story about him, and we finished. Rav Shach, one day when he was 16, he had an uncle. His uncle sent him a letter. He say, I don't have children and I have a big factory. And I know you and your mother don't have anything. I want you to come here. I will train you to take over the business and run it. And one day it will be all yours. I don't have who to take it. In those days in yeshiva, there was such poverty that people were sleeping on mattresses, and half of the yeshiva did not have a mattress. They had to sleep on the freezing floor, on the floor with no mattress. And who used to have a mattress? The people who are already more time in yeshiva, they get the mattress. The new ones sleep on the floor. So this boy Rav Shach, at that time Eliezer Man Shach, that's his name, he sleep already 2-3 years on the floor. His bones are all aching. Once he got the letter from his uncle told him, there's yeshiva here, there's shul here, you come here, there's also Torah here. He decided to leave the yeshiva and go. So he packed his stuff, he came to the Rosh Yeshiva. The Rosh Yeshiva say, no, don't you know that you sleep on the floor, it makes your reward even greater? He say, hey, Rabbi, look, my uncle, I already sent him that I'm coming. Send me a ticket for the train. As he say goodbye to everyone, hugged everyone, goodbye, it was very nice seeing you. No telephones in those days, 100 years ago almost. He comes outside with a bag. He's about to go to the train. A woman came with a mattress in her hand, widow. She said, excuse me, you learn in this yeshiva? He said, yes. She said to him, my husband died a week ago, and today I got up from the shiva. And I have an extra mattress, and I heard you don't have enough mattresses in the yeshiva. So I want to donate my husband's mattress to the yeshiva. Do you have a mattress? He told her, no. I've been sleeping on the floor for more than 2 years. Here, it's a gift for you. She gave him the mattress. And he's with the bag, with the ticket, going to make fortune and to inherit a big factory. 16, 17 years old boy. So he started to think. He say, I'm already set in my mind that I have a new career, I'm going to my uncle, I'm going to make money, I finally live like a human being. Not laying on the floor. But it cannot be that after I'm here already for years, and I did not have a mattress, and nobody could even dream about getting a mattress here. In a minute that I'm on my way to the train station, all of a sudden a woman comes and hands me a mattress. Hashem sent me this mattress. Hashem is speaking to me. He say, you have a plan. Rabot machashavot belev ish, v'atzat Hashem itakum. You have plans. I have my plans for you. Turn around and go to the yeshiva, you don't have an excuse. But it's very difficult. I remember when I joined the army, they made a mistake in my date. I made a party, all my friends came, all my family to say goodbye to me, because I go to Tironut. After I finished all the party saying goodbye to everyone, I came to the back room, first day in the army, they told me, oh, Mizrachi, what are you doing here? I'm standing here all day, you didn't call my name. Everyone left on buses, I'm the only one standing there. Told me, wow, we sent you a letter that it was postponed by 2 weeks. I said to her, ma postponed? I'm all day standing here, I'm sorry, I don't have what to do with you. I have to go back home. I said, on my dead body, I go back home. After I say goodbye to everyone, coming, party, I'm going to show up. The biggest embarrassment. What do you want me to do? I say, I sleep here on the floor. Mamash like this. I don't go. She said, you crazy? Everyone that his service was postponed is so happy. Why do you want to come there? I said, I'm not going back. I have nowhere to go. For an hour I argue until she got somebody who found me what to do. Found me where to go. So Rav Shach turned around, he went back into the yeshiva, and the rest is history. He became Rosh Yeshivat Ponovich, and he opened Shas, and got all the Sfaradim from the dust to where they are today, and later Chacham Ovadia took it over when they called him to help. But he opened Shas. He is the one who told the Sfaradim should have something of their own. And he influenced the whole world. Even in New York Times, they made an article about him. 102 years old or 105 years old men decide for more than 500,000 people, which is 50% of the population in Israel, how to vote in the election. What's his secret? How can it be? An old man sitting in a tiny apartment and he's deciding for everyone. They couldn't understand that. And that's it. You don't become somebody unless you give your life for it. You think life is a picnic, think again. Full of crises, and every day it's a new challenge. And if there's no challenges, there's no reward. And Be'ezrat Hashem, I gave you a list of things that prevent us from being happy. There's more things. But for one night, it's too much. Give you the first meal. Then we'll talk about dessert for next time. Any questions before we finish? We have a few minutes for questions now. Please take advantage, even if it's off the topic. Any? They're afraid that it's going to take another 15 minutes. Okay, go ahead.
When the Torah was given,
yeah.
there was no Sephardi, Ashkenazi, Mizrachi, whatever.
No Sephardi, Ashkenazi when the Torah was given, right.
So what's that now?
Why there is? Yeah. Very simple. The Torah says that Hashem told us that if we don't listen to Him, He will scatter us among the nations as a part of our punishment. והפצתי אתכם בעמים. I will spread you all over the world. ונשארתם במתי מספר. Only few of you will survive. Why? Because you did not follow my mitzvot with happiness. Instead of running on the street and scream, I'm a Jew. I'm so lucky. I belong to the 0.02% lucky people that Hashem say, Banim atem laHashem Elokechem. He keeps mitzvot. Oof, I'm tired. It's so difficult to be a Jew. He keeps. Not that he didn't keep. But Hashem say, you did not keep with joy and happiness. What's the results of it? You spread all over the world. You spread all over the world. Some of us went to live with Ahmad and Mustafa. Some of us went to live with Peter and Chris. And after 1,000 years, one eats the food that he learned in Europe, and one eats the food that he learned in Iraq. That's it. After 1,000 years of exile, they met again. The dark Sfaradi and the light Ashkenazi and the Yemenite showed up. And he said, who are you? I said, I'm a Jew. Who are you? I'm a Jew. Come on, go tell your mother you're a Jew. You're a Jew? How can it be? No, you're a Jew. What happened today? They get married. Ashkenazi and Sfaradi will not make us go to heaven or not. I promise you. That's custom, that's extra, that's tradition. The Torah says you follow the tradition of your father. One time a person will be Mechalel Shabbat in his life on purpose, it's already worse than being 70 years against being Sfaradi. For instance, you're Sfaradi and you decided to do what the Ashkenazim do 70 years, It's less bad than one time lighting a cigarette on Shabbat. Isur karet, horrible thing. Or do you worry about custom? It's important. But there's nothing to compare between the restriction of the Torah to the custom. Or Ashkenazi wants to be Sfaradi. After all, it's the same halachot, the same everything, 99.99%. That's not going to make, the judgment will not be determined on that. Yes, different accent, different avarot, different music, different clothing, different hats. None of it is deoraita. The most important thing is Shmira, Torah, Mitzvot, Emunah, Ahava, Achdut. I go to some communities, Sfaradim and Ashkenazim sits in the same table. One time Ashkenazi pray, the next one Sfaradi, 100%. They get married together, they do Shabbatot together. Beautiful, the way it should be. 100% the way it should be. And if someone does not do it, or is a racist, he cannot call himself Yerei Shamayim, that's for sure. How I will not like a Jew because his accent or his color or whatever the case is, which HaKadosh Baruch Hu love him just as much as he loves me or more, I don't like him because of where he came from, and I call myself that I fearing God? How can it be? I don't like the son of God or the daughter of God because of where she came from, and I can say if I don't like the son of the king, I love the king? If the king has a prince walking on the street, and you came and give him a smack, what does the king say? You hate me. You say, God forbid, your majesty, I love you very much. You just smack my kid or you spoke bad against him, you hate me. You don't hate him, you hate me. If you love me, you love him. And if you don't love him, you force yourself to love him. Because that's the minimum of being a human being. So therefore, it shouldn't be an issue. And Baruch Hashem, there is an improvement in the last generation, and another one or two, I believe all these nonsense differences will disappear, Be'ezrat Hashem. More questions?
What is the difference between emunah and bitachon in a sentence?
Okay, emunah means believing. Bitachon means confidence, trust, confidence. Now, what does it mean, emunah? Let me explain. First of all, in the Torah, it says in the Navi Yeshaya, it says like this, Le'man tedu ותאמינו לי, ותבינו כי אני הוא האלוקים, כי אני הוא השם. First, למען תדעו, you should know. Knowing means 100% knowledge, just like you know I'm standing here and talking to you, and there's no matter of you believe or you don't believe. You know. Now comes the emunah. You believe in me that what I say will happen. I give you a check, you believe the check would be good, but there's different levels of emunah, different levels. If one person gives you a check, this customer, you only sure 20% that the check is good, not more than that. That's why you take precaution against him. This one you work with in 20 years, he gave you 1,000 checks already and they're all good. Now you know 95% the check is good. But it's a level of emunah. Now what does it mean, bitachon? I'll tell you the words of the Chazon Ish. There's two opinions in Judaism. There's the Shita of the Hasidim. The Hasidim say, if you trust Hashem, that everything you want, He will give to you, even if you're wicked, He will do it for you. That's the way the Hasidim believe. Chazon Ish say, absolutely not, that's not what it means. Not everything that you want, you will get. So what does it mean, confidence in Hashem? What does it mean? The answer is that we know that everything Hashem does right now, even though it looks very bad, it's really good. That's what it means, confidence. That I trust Hashem, that whatever He does to me, no matter how painful it is, it's a surgery that I need for my future, which means according to the situation that I am, it's the best thing that can happen to me. But emunah, it's I believe that what Hashem said in the Torah, it's true. But I don't have any specific guarantees about anything. Confidence is personal. I have confidence that Hashem would feed me if I leave work and go to yeshiva. I trust Him 100%. That's called confidence. Emunah means Hashem say, this is not good for you. I believe you. I do not know. I have no way to know. I believe you. This one will happen if you do that one day. I believe that also. That's a separate issue. Emunah, that what Hashem promised in the Torah and everything He said, that we believe that Mashiach would come, this is all matters of emunah. Confidence is more personal. What's going to be with me? Tomorrow I'm going to have the man, or I should put some on the side? So there's also level of confidence. The higher the har, the less you have to worry. The more emunah, the more confidence you have, the less you have to worry about ishtadlut, efforts. No, one or two more.
So to go and visit a grave of a tzaddik in a faraway country, or better to stay where you are and learn further that day?
There's no obligation at all in the Torah or in Shulchan Aruch that you must go to kivrot tzaddikim. There's no such thing. There is like what we call a privilege, a bonus, that if a person goes to a grave of a big tzaddik that's known as a big righteous person, praying in his grave, saying that in a merit, not chas v'shalom praying to him, that in a merit of the righteous rabbi that is buried in this place, Hashem will accept my prayers express, better than when I come myself and present it. He's going to be my good lawyer. However, to leave Eretz Israel, it's a very problematic to begin with. According to almost all the shitot, it's not allowed, except 4 reasons. It's only 4 reasons allow a person to leave Eretz Israel. So to leave Eretz Israel and to go to a very righteous person who lived far away, or buried far away, it's against the halacha. But there's another reason. Even if it was allowed, let's say the Shulchan Aruch say, no problem. You want to go to a grave of a tzaddik, go to a grave of a tzaddik. The main problem is that the biggest tzaddikim in the history, the biggest, are buried all in Israel, in the Galil. Tzfat, Amuka. Each one of them in the Talmud was Mechayeh Metim. No rabbi in the last 1,000 years was Mechayeh Metim. You know what Mechayeh Metim? Reviving the dead from his grave, putting the soul back in his body. They knew all the Torah by heart. They were very holy people. The Talmud tell us that these people were the most righteous people ever lived. Not stories from people who lived 5 generations ago that people add a lot of to the story and make it sound a lot better. We do not know. Maybe they were, maybe not. Maybe they were half of what people say. People make up a lot of stories. On the Talmud, we know who was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. If Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is buried 10 minutes from my home, and I will get on a plane and pay $1,000 and go 10 hours flight or 5 hours flight to a place of someone who lived 100 years ago, or 200 years ago, or 300 years ago, that's a big insult to all the hundreds of Tanaim and Nevi'im, prophets that are buried right next to my home. How do I leave gold and go all the way to the end of the world to search for silver? What is it? That's not so wise. Regardless, allowed, not allowed. Is that convincing enough answer or no?
No, but is it a mitzvah to go from London to Hungary?
Well, if you were sitting in yeshiva and learn Torah, then you make a very big avera. If you leave the yeshiva and you go to a grave of someone, even in Israel, if you sit in Yerushalayim and learn Gemara 10 hours a day, and you close the Gemara and go all the way to the Galil, to any grave, all the ride, all the waste of time, you bitul Torah 600,000 mitzvot to do one mitzvah, the Rabbanan or Minhag. That's mitzvah. If it's mitzvah, mitzvah haba b'milyon averot. So what kind of mitzvah is this? You understand? Where people have to use common sense. That, not chas v'shalom that these people are not righteous. They're also very big tzaddikim. Not saying no. But you have someone who's 1,000 times bigger, according to all opinions. Everyone knows Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who was Rabbi Akiva. They're right next to you. You have Rabbi Akiva, the greatest Jew ever lived. The greatest. Even Moshe Rabbeinu said to Hashem, he was supposed to get the Torah, not me. He's next to your home, and you replace him with anybody else? That's a shame. Yes?
Going back to what you said at the beginning of your shiur, is it then a bad idea to get life insurance to make savings for bad days?
Very good. This is a question we did not answer. Thank you for reminding me. Depend on a person. Person that has big emunah in Hashem doesn't really need any insurance. How do you know if you have emunah in Hashem? Emunah and bitachon, confidence, is if you're afraid of the future or not. If you're afraid in shidduch, in raising the children, in finding shidduchim to your children, in making parnasah, in finding a job, and getting cure, if you're afraid, that means you have problems in the level of your emunah. Because you're afraid, Hashem expects you to do much more ishtadlut, because you don't trust Him enough. So He will help you 10, 20, or 30%, but you have to do the rest. Because you don't trust me, you'll do the job. But if you come to him and say, Abba, I'm worthless, I'm helpless, I cannot do anything on my own. Help me, I'm counting on you. Ashlech ya'avcha al Hashem v'hu yichalkelecha. I'm throwing everything on you. I'm zero without you. Ein od milvado. And I understand that 100%, and I'm not worried. I'm not even worried. I know a guy, stockbroker. He makes money already many, many years. I told him, how did you learn stock? He said, I don't know anything about stocks. So I said to him, what do you mean you don't know? You buy every day, you do trading every day, you buy and sell hundreds of transactions a month. He told me, you know how I buy? I go inside, I see a huge list of stocks. I say, שיר למעלות, אשא עיניי להרים, מאין יבוא עזרי, עזרי, Say, Hashem, you know I need parnasa, I have children in Talmudei Torah. I don't know anything. I don't have a job. I don't have education. I don't have anything. I want to be tzaddik. I want to continue to learn Torah, and I want my children to grow up in yeshivot. And this is my ishtadlut. I'm going to buy 2, 3 menayot, and Be'ezrat Hashem, you bless me. And say 8 out of 10 I make. And that's how I live. Have emunah in Hashem. Simple emunah. How many people would dare to do such thing? It's committing suicide. No. So one person told me, nah, that's not emunah, that's stupidity. I say, call it whatever you want, but it worked for him 11 years already. What do I care how you call it? It's working. Once, twice, coincidence. 11 years, hundreds of times every month? No, more questions. Yeah.
Is it allowed to let a relative to come to a house of Shabbat to buy a car, or is it that you're participating in the other act?
Oh, good question. Is it allowed to invite guests that come to the house with a car? They want to come. No, you don't invite them, they invite themselves.
I might come tomorrow.
I might come tomorrow. So this is the halacha. You have to tell them, I made room for you to sleep. If you have room in your house, you tell them we made you a room, and you're welcome to come and sleep from now until the end of Shabbat. Or I made your room by the neighbor. Or I made your room across the street. And if he shows up on his own, that's his problem, not yours. Why? You, when you told him come and join us for meal or whatever the case was, you told him I prepared for your room, which means I do not want to be responsible for you driving on Shabbat. So if he decide after the meal on Friday night to get up and go to his car, that's his problem, not yours. However, if it happens every week, after 3 times, then you tell them, I'm very sorry. I don't want to participate in such a horrible avera that you drive on Shabbat. And it doesn't matter if he answer you the opposite. When I come to you, I drive only 10 minutes, and I stay by you all night. If I don't drive to you, I drive much far away to the club. So by coming to you, you're actually saving me for X amount of Chilul Shabbat. Even if it's true, it doesn't matter. We do not participate in any act against Hashem, even if he would do it without me. What is it like if a Hamas terrorist wants to blow himself and kill innocent person, and he call one Ahmed, he say, Ahmed, you have a taxi. I want you to take me to this club tomorrow night. Drive me. So the driver say, how much you pay me? He say, I'll pay you $200 for the taxi. And he knew he's a suicide bomber. And he took him to the place, and he blew the place, and he killed people. And the police found out from the camera who brought him there, and they come to arrest him. He's saying in his investigation, what do you want from me? I'm a taxi driver. There was an opportunity to make $200. I'm not for killing. I never kill anyone. Believe me, I'm not happy that he did it. But what is it? If he wouldn't be me, he would take a different taxi. What do they do to him? 15 years in prison. Why? You participated in a crime? Yes or no? Yes. Finish. Don't give excuses. So now, in the beginning, there's no guarantee the crime will take place. Why? Only after 3 times that it repeats, it becomes chazakah. After 3 times, you have to tell him, I'm very sorry, I cannot allow that you come to me on Shabbat. Come before Shabbat and stay, or come Motzei Shabbat. Yes?
Chesed, what is the minimum or the maximum a person should be doing chesed? What is classified as chesed? And how the person is supposed to go on with chesed?
There's no minimum and there's no maximum. The more you do, the better it is. You have to do as much as possible. A person has to do chesed all the time, every day, every test, every opportunity. The more he does, the better it is.
What does chesed mean? Does it mean learning Torah?
Chesed means everything you do for the public. Helping the poor, helping the widow, helping people, making sure in your home, giving tzedakah to people, cook for the yeshiva. There's lots of things. It could be buried someone that doesn't have who to bury him.
Talmud Torah can never kill him. Talmud Torah can never kill him.
Yes, if a person sits and learns Torah all his life, he's patur from chesed. Learning.
That if somebody learns all the time, his Torah is not accepted.
No, but learning Torah is also chesed to the world. גדול תלמוד תורה יותר מהצלת נפשות. Of course, every once in a while he has to do a chesed here and there, that not all his life he did not do one chesed, but if he sits and learns Torah, he's mo'il. He's benefiting the nation of Israel more than any other person in the world.
Chesed isn't a very important thing to do.
100%. David HaMelech, there's a chapter.
That's important as learning Torah.
No, listen. David HaMelech wrote in Tehillim one chapter. Do you know what the whole chapter is? You know what the whole chapter? The whole chapter is cursing. 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 Horrible curses. You may think, who is he cursing? Murderers. Monsters. In the end, you know who he curses? Someone that does not do chesed. However, remember what I said. Limud Torah keneged kulam. Even if a person was learning Torah and he got a call that he has to go save a life of a person, which is very important to save life, and he must go and save life, he lost more than he gained. The 2 or 3 hours that he closed the Gemara and went and was busy saving someone, bringing him to the hospital, is a very big mitzvah. And it's an obligation. But limud Torah, it's higher.
Saving one's life is like saving one.
Saving soul, not life. Saving soul. Ametzil nefesh. Saving soul, that's what we do. You see these CDs? People donate money for these CDs. Some of them are yours. Some people give money for CDs, which is very good. And we give these CDs, and people begin to listen to these CDs. And a large percentage of them, starting after a month, they're already keeping mitzvot. And the people who donated, saving souls. If they save one soul, it's kind of like they save the whole world. And these CDs save a lot more than one life. Save hundreds and then thousands, and by now they save tens of thousands of people already that keep Torah and mitzvot and establish Jewish homes. This is the best investment, as I always say. More questions before we're done? Last question. Go ahead.
I believe that the Chazal could be incorrect in a matter of science.
Yes. It's a good question. Chazal, there is 2 categories in Chazal. Most people do not understand. There is knowledge, scientific knowledge that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to Chazal in Mount Sinai. And there is science that Chazal speaks about that came from the Goyim, from the Greeks. How come there's 2 different kinds of science? Science that connects halacha lemaaseh, that connects to mitzvot of the Torah, such as the renewal of the moon. The holidays is determined on the renewal of the moon. So Hashem told us in Har Sinai, the renewal of the moon will never be less than 29.530590 days. 29 days, 0.5, it's 12 hours, 30590, that's the minimal cycle of the renewal of the moon, which shows that only the creator of the world could have known such a thing 3,300 years ago. No one knew all the cycles of the moon to 6 digits after the decimal point, without computer, without calculator, without anything. Why Hashem wrote it in the Torah? To show us that He's the creator of the world and to brag? No. It's also very important that you have emunah in Hashem by reading it. The reason is because we needed halacha lemaaseh. If witnesses would come and we saw the renewal of the moon before this minimal number, then you know they're wrong. You cannot declare Rosh Chodesh. You have to wait a few more minutes. So there are certain science that Chachamim received from Moshe Rabbeinu from generation to generation in the Torah. Over there you will never find mistake. There you'll never find errors. However, some of the things the Chachamim said is what the doctors of that generation was saying. Or the scientists, or Aristo, or all these famous names among the Greeks, which were very smart people in science and math and all kinds of things. So the Chachamim, while they were learning Torah, people come and ask questions. They told him, the biggest mathematicians say this is it. The biggest astronomer say this is and this is that. Today, some of the things the Greeks say, it's correct. Some of the things they say, it's incorrect. If you wrote something in your book, and your book considered to be the most reliable in the world today, maybe in 50 years from now it won't be reliable. Right now it's the most reliable book. And someone come to me as a rabbi and ask me, what should I do? And it's a question about science. And I read in your book that this is the discoveries you're holding, that this is the truth. And I tell it to my student, follow this instruction. And 50 years later, they found out that you did not know what you're talking about. It's not fair to say that I made a mistake. I didn't. I copy from what you said. You worked 30 years, and this is your discoveries. So that's why some people get confused. They find things that Chazal say in the name of the Greeks, as the Rambam writes, and sometimes is not matching what science claiming today, and they say, you see, there's mistakes in the Torah. No mistakes in the Torah. What we receive in Har Sinai, fins and scales, the renewal of the moon, the number of stars, all kinds of things that we receive in Har Sinai, there's no mistakes. Things that we had to copy from the Greeks, not everything is in the Torah. I give you an example. They ask a question, the chick that comes from the egg, where does it come from? From the white or from the yellow? There was big arguments between the Greeks and Chazal. One claim from the white, one claim from the yellow. In the end, both were wrong. What's the white and the yellow? The mineral, the food of the chick. How is it created from? From a microscopic seed. Now, nobody can see unless you have a microscope. When they invented the microscope a few hundred years ago, whatever it was, they checked and they saw, oh, there's a seed. In a few weeks, the seed growing into a bird. So what are you saying? That they made a mistake? They didn't have a microscope. There was no tools, and the Torah did not say. You understand? They didn't have the tools. That doesn't lower the level. There was no knowledge in the world about it, because the Torah did not speak. If in the Torah it say that the chicken come from the yellow, and then today we found out it's not, then people had the case. But things like this you won't find. I want to thank Agadot Chazal. It's a different topic. Agadot Chazal, it's not literal. 100%. Everybody knows it's not literal. You cannot say that it's literal when Chazal tell you there was an eagle the size of a city, and he came and landed on a branch, which means the branch was the size of a country. Do you know a tree the size of the United States? Or the size of Israel? What, the Chachamim did not know what they're talking about? Where they lived. They didn't know there's no eagle the size of a building? Of course they knew. So why they talk about this? We don't know. It's big secrets there. They hid a lot of secrets there. When Mashiach comes, we'll understand. Okay, time is running out. I want to first, there's a list of a lot of people on this trip that work very, very, very hard to make everything happen. The original plan that I will come and speak 3 or 4 lectures. That was the original plan. And because of all kinds of Lashon Hara and politics and fighting and all kinds of things that people do not want the Torah to be heard here, Hashem helped that thanks to these people, I ended up giving 10 lectures. And also Hashem helped that since they started the war against what I say, I have 3,000 new people in my website. Because out of curiosity, they want to know who is this Hitler that everyone speaks about. A few people that speaks about it. So out of curiosity, some of the people left to stay into this. So the list is long. I do not want to say names for one reason, because I always forget at least one and then you get offended. But Hashem knows who helped me. There's a lot of people who made a lot of effort, and they ran, and they made emails and phone calls and whatever you want. And they paid money, and there's a long list. And I want to thank personally to each one of them, and I did to some of them already. All the people who over the years sponsor my CD, it's a life-saving. There's no words to thank you, because these CDs, I get so many emails. I showed Ofer. Ofer told me, can you send me some recommendations of people? In less than 5 minutes, I sent him about 20 or 30 emails that I got only in the last few days of people that writes how their life got saved from the lecture. In 5 minutes. Ofer, how long it took? From the minute you asked me. Few minutes, right? Right away, one after the other. And you told me, enough. It's too many. Too many. Why? How these people get saved? 90% of them I never meet in my life. They only get saved from online or from the CDs. From listening, and they turn into Shomrei Mitzvot. Everyone who helps me, everyone who supports this cause, everyone who helps me coming to new places, etc., they have a share in everything I do and everything that happened. Very simple. This is the way it works. Thank you very much for coming, and hope we'll see you again soon. Thank you very much. Kol Tov.